Apparently, all of gaming YouTube is comprised of financially illiterate retards, which is why all these people are constantly gloom and dooming about Nintendo. They don't understand the economy, they don't understand the stock market, they don't understand anything. This is why they are all broke bums. So allow me, someone with money, to explain what's actually happening here. Like, oh, but there's a huge, massive slide since December after the holiday season. Hey, genius. It's returning to pre-Switch 2 release levels, essentially. So the reason the stock price surged was because of the Switch 2 announcement, and now it's uh falling back to where it was pre-Switch 2 levels. Now, overall, the stock has been going up. Just look at how much it's gone up since 2024, right? Like just look like yeah, even where it is now, it's higher than it was at in January 2025. But like right now, you see so many people like making all these weird allegations regarding like the stock prices and Switch 2's place on the market. They keep making up all these claims that like RAM prices are lowering are are spooking investors and that there's all these problems. In actuality, Nintendo has been very, very, very much unaffected by rising costs. In actuality, they are doing very, very well. The best out of any major gaming publisher, far better than any of the gaming PC industries, by the way, which is something that you don't really see a lot of, honestly, is people noting that the rising prices are going to more greatly affect the PC gaming industry, in the upgrade market, the chip market, like as opposed to Nintendo, which is a console where they've already got a good chunk of their product out. It's like they've already had their release schedule. Before they've already got their console out before prices started to surge, essentially. So they're already kind of settled. They've already kind of adjusted. Prices for their brand. Prices for what they use for Switch 2s are naturally going to go down over time, because it's not going to be as sophisticated or cutting edge technology. It's going to be more affordable. So like I don't think you're going to see surges in prices for Nintendo Switch 2s. You keep seeing people say that there is, but that there's going to be, but like we haven't seen it, and like there's no reason to think that. Like if anything, it should have happened already because the Switch One price already raised, the Xbox price already raised, the PlayStation price already raised. Hasn't happened for Switch 2, and there's no reason to think it will, honestly. It just feels like this is something that Nintendo will just deal with organically over time, and there's really nothing to be concerned about whatsoever, especially if you're a general consumer. Now, if you're an investor like myself, now's the time to actually buy. I actually just put in like about like um I just bought like 60 shares, because of the new low. So yeah, I am um I am going to be buying a lot of Nintendo shares going forward, and I'm going to be holding on to them. That's just me personally, though. Going by like my experiences with this, that's kind of where I'm at now. Like, I don't see like any reason to be concerned about this. Like for me, as an investor, like I am buying more stock. I have no intention of selling. I don't see any reason of for concern in regards to this. Like, it just feels like a giant cope. Like, again, it's just like it's so easy to just look at this chart and like make up this narrative that like Nintendo's on the decline, they're going bankrupt. The Switch 2 didn't do very well, but when you get the full picture, when you start looking at like 5 years of stock prices, which by the way, I do think we do need to talk about this more. Like, it's normal for stock to rise and fall. Okay. Like, it's perfectly normal. There's nothing to like, there's no conspiracy behind it. Nintendo isn't failing. Like, I'm just so tired of seeing people like broke bums try and make these wild assertions about the stock market and Nintendo based on like faulty information. And that's what we're seeing now, honestly. When you look at like, where the information is coming from, like, who's making all these wild claims, like to me it's very apparent that like all that's happened is that the Switch 2 is out now. It's been well established, and you know, traders are selling while it's high, and it's returning back to like, ordinary levels. I don't think there's anything weird about this. Like, I don't think people are like losing faith in the company. I don't think like the Switch 2 is a failure. I don't think Nintendo has no room for growth. Like, I see this as just an ordinary like stock price fall. Like I don't see anything unusual about this. And the reality is, this is how desperate the gaming community is right now to downplay Nintendo stock prices. This is how desperate they are to keep the narrative regarding Nintendo negative. This is how desperate they are to try and make it out like the Switch 2 isn't successful. We're at the point now where they're talking about stock prices. They're not talking about games. They're not talking about hardware because we know the hardware is selling well. We know the games are selling well, but like, well, the investors are pulling out. Like, yeah, and so like it's like, who cares? It's not going to affect Nintendo or their business model at all, right? Really, like, and again, it's a meme in the community just how little like general shareholders actually know about the product or actually know about Nintendo or actually know about their product. Remember that one time someone came out and asked why they were talking about video games so much in their shareholders meeting? Like, most Nintendo shareholders are retards. Okay, like that's just the reality of it. So even if a bunch of people are selling, even if investors are losing faith in the company, so what? Like, most investors are just looking to make like money. Like, they're not really interested in the long-term viability of the company or the success of their console or the brands. Like, that's not really what they're looking at. Like, what they want is like short and long-term gains. So for me, I don't really see any reason to be concerned about this. I don't see any reason to like do articles about it, especially considering how like other other companies are on the downturn as well. Take Two had their huge stock crash because of the GTA 5 delay, right? Sony's down, Microsoft's down. Like, this isn't something unusual. Like, it happens all the time, and it is high time that we accept that.